Hey everyone, welcome back. If you're here, you already know the cozy game space on Nintendo Switch has been absolutely stacked lately. Today we're counting down 20 upcoming cozy games you need to know about. Let's get into it. Set to launch in 2026 on Nintendo Switch, Farming Camp is shaping up to be one of the most charming, cozy farming games on the horizon. Developed by Inner Fire Studios, the creators of Orange Season, the game follows Alessandra, a young girl attending the Evertree farming camp in hopes of becoming the camp's top farmer. Instead of focusing only on building a farm, the game mixes farming, fishing, animal care, exploration, minigames, and social interactions with a relaxing summer camp atmosphere. Its beautiful, hand-drawn 2D visuals instantly capture the nostalgic feeling of classic Harvest Moon and Story of Seasons titles, while still feeling modern and fresh. With a stronger emphasis on character relationships and camp competition, Farming Camp looks like a cozy life sim designed for players who enjoy relaxing progression, wholesome storytelling, and classic farming gameplay.
My Little Puppy. This one hits different.
You play as Bongu, a Welsh corgi who lived a full, happy life with his adopted dad, a kind, scruffy man who gave him a home. After Bongu passes away, he wakes up in dog heaven and then catches a familiar scent, his dad. So he sets out on a journey to find him, traveling through vast deserts, snowy mountains, and serene beaches. It's a story-rich adventure game with action, exploration, and even racing sequences, all through the eyes of a dog. Along the way, you meet other dogs and humans, each with their own touching stories. The game already has an overwhelmingly positive rating on Steam. If you've ever lost a pet or been loved by one, prepare yourself. The Switch version also lets you dress Bongu up in costumes, which honestly makes it even better. Hela comes from the team behind the Unravel series, and from the moment you see it, that pedigree is obvious. You play as a tiny mouse, one of a witch's familiars, in a stunning open world inspired by northern Scandinavia. The witch has fallen ill, so it's up to you and up to 3 friends to explore the wilderness, forage for ingredients, brew potions, and solve puzzles to help her recover. The world is gorgeous, lush forests, rugged mountains, shimmering lakes. You get a froggy backpack that lets you swing, climb, glide, and bounce around the environment, which makes exploration feel dynamic and fun. There's no combat at all. The whole focus is on kindness, curiosity, and discovery. Solo players can use the Shade system to summon magical echoes of teammates for co-op puzzles. Hela won Most Wholesome and Most Entertaining at Gamescom 2025. This is the kind of game you play and just feel better afterward. Trade Tales is a Filipino-made indie sim that starts with a simple premise. You win a small farm lot in a lottery in a mysterious town called Cloverdale, and then just keeps expanding from there. You can farm, fish, mine, raise animals, and open your own shop. But it goes further than most sims. You can run a factory, become a social media influencer, work various jobs in town, or slowly build a business empire. The whole town has a day-night cycle, seasons, and weather that actually affect what you can do and grow. The relationship system lets you befriend and eventually romance over 10 different characters, each with their own personality. It's heavily inspired by Stardew Valley, Story of Seasons, and Recettear, but the entrepreneurial twist gives it a distinct flavor. This one is for players who want the farming sim loop, but also want to feel like they're building something much bigger over time. Out of Words is a stop-motion co-op platformer that looks unlike anything else coming to Switch 2. The whole game is handcrafted. Every character, environment, and animation was made using actual stop-motion techniques, giving it this warm, textured, tactile feel that's genuinely hard to describe. You and a friend play as Kurt and Carla, 2 kids who lose their voices at the exact moment they first try to hold hands. Their journey through the world of Vocabulantis, a colorful realm full of clay skyscrapers and ancient catacombs, is about finding those lost voices. The gameplay is built around physics-based puzzles, timing-based platforming, and communication between players. You can play online or on the couch. Published by Epic Games and created with a poet at the helm, this is one of those rare games that feels like art. If you loved It Takes Two, this is absolutely one to watch. Starsand Island has already been turning heads on PC, with reviewers spending 25+ hours in the first season alone. You play as a character who grew up on a beautiful island, moved to the city, and comes back to reconnect with that slower way of life. The farming here is genuinely deep, nearly 100 crop types, seasonal bonuses, and a 3x3 grid planting system that can produce giant crops. You can also raise over 10 types of animals, with dozens of variants each. On top of farming and ranching, there's home building with massive creative freedom, mysterious ancient ruins to explore, and a full cast of quirky island characters to befriend. The anime-inspired 3D visuals are striking. Combat exists but is completely optional, which is a win for players who just want to farm and build in peace. It's one of those sims that just keeps giving you things to do, Fields of Mistria has been one of the most talked about farming sims in early access on PC, and it's heading the consoles with its full launch in 2026. You move to the town of Mistria, which is recovering from an earthquake, and your job is to help rebuild it while building your own life there. It's got farming, fishing, mining, bug catching, and crafting, but the thing that sets it apart is the community. Every Friday, all the villagers gather at the inn, and you're invited. There's over 5,000 lines of unique character dialogue, romance options regardless of gender, and a museum to fill with donations. The game also has magic. You can gain essence through daily tasks and use it on a skill tree of abilities. The pixel art and anime-inspired character designs look fantastic. It's one of those sims that genuinely feels like it was made by people who deeply love the genre. Beastro is probably the most creative mashup on this list. You play as Panko, a young chef in the cozy seaside village of Palopori, a town surrounded by walls that keep monsters out. Your mentor has gone missing, and it falls to you to run the restaurant and cook for the town's protectors, called caretakers. The game has 3 phases each day. Morning is cozy sim stuff, planting, fishing, talking to villagers. Afternoon, you open the restaurant and cook through minigames. And in the evening, the caretakers take your food with them into the wilderness, and what you cooked shapes their deck in a turn-based card battle. The meals you prepare directly affect their combat abilities. It's cozy farming plus cooking sim plus roguelike deck builder, and somehow it all works together beautifully. The puppet show presentation for the battle sequences is a charming, creative touch. Waxheads is already out, and it's already being loved. You're the newest employee at Repeater Records, a struggling vinyl shop in a small northern town. Your job is to match records to customers, but these aren't simple requests. Customers come in with cryptic descriptions, vague moods, and odd clues, and you have to dig through 80+ hand-drawn albums to find the right one. It plays more like a puzzle game than a management sim. Beyond record matching, you also design posters, rearrange displays, and get pulled into the lives of a wild cast of regulars. The story touches on music venue closures, AI streaming services, queer community, and the fight to keep indie culture alive, wrapped in a warm, genuinely funny script. The all-original soundtrack spans multiple genres, and the comic book art style is immediately distinctive. The Switch version uses touchscreen in handheld mode, and it feels exactly right. You can grab this one today. The Witch's Bakery gives strong Kiki's Delivery Service meets Persona 5 energy, and that's not an exaggeration because the developers literally cited both as inspirations. You play as Lune, a young witch who arrives in modern-day Paris and opens a bakery. Each day splits into 3 phases. Daytime is bakery management with your team. Evening is exploring Paris, building relationships, and uncovering the city's secrets. And night is resting, decorating your bakery, and improving your magic. The twist is that Lune can enter people's hearts. When someone's emotions are locked away, she dives into their heart palace, a magical inner world, and guides their feelings back to help heal them. The anime 2D art style is beautiful, the Paris setting is genuinely fun to walk around in, and the emotional storytelling is the real hook here. Over 90,000 Steam wishlists before launch says a lot of people are watching this one closely.
Grave Seasons is the farming sim you didn't know you needed. On the surface, it looks like a cute, pixel art, cozy game. Crops, fishing, mining, building relationships in the charming town of Ashen Ridge. But here's the twist. Your character just escaped from jail, and someone in town is a supernatural serial killer. People start dying, and it's up to you to figure out who's responsible. You search for clues, investigate townsfolk, use a crowbar to break into locked areas, and craft items to protect potential victims. The town and its people change based on your choices, who you befriend, what you do, what you miss. And yes, you can romance the killer. Published by Blumhouse Games, the horror film studio, this is cozy horror done right. Not cheap jump scares, just the unsettling feeling that something is very wrong in a world that looks perfectly peaceful. Coffee Talk Tokyo is the next chapter in one of the most beloved, cozy visual novel series around. This time, the cafe moves from Seattle to the late-night streets of Tokyo, and you're back behind the counter as a barista, serving a brand new cast of human and fantastical customers. The core loop is the same. Brew drinks, listen to stories, let your choices shape the mood of each conversation. But this entry adds hot and cold drinks, sprinkle stencils for latte art, and Tomodo Chill, an in-game social feed that gives you extra insight into your regulars' lives. The new cast brings entirely fresh stories about dreams, struggles, and small connections that matter. If you've played the original Coffee Talk, you know the vibe. Lo-fi atmosphere, warm writing, and characters you end up genuinely caring about. Tokyo is a perfect new backdrop for all of that.
Littlelands is a cozy adventure game that starts with a simple errand visit your grandmother and slowly pulls you into something much bigger.
The Littlelands region is a magical place, full of colorful landscapes, strange characters, hidden caves, and secrets tucked into every corner. You create your own little big-headed character, and then just explore at your own pace. Farming, fishing, cooking, bug catching, treasure hunting, there's always something to do. The NPCs have their own quests and stories, and helping them leads you into the game's broader mystery. There are dungeons with light combat if you want a bit of adventure too. The demo is already on Steam, and people are responding well to it. It has this warm, handmade charm that feels like a childhood adventure, the kind where the world feels enormous and full of possibility. Animula Nook asks a simple question. What if everyday objects were entire worlds? You shrink down to the size of a toy and explore a giant household. Coffee mugs become mountains. Bookshelves become skylines. Milk cartons become homes. You collect raindrops, sunlight, coins, and buttons to build your own little homestead inside a cabinet or on the corner of a desk. You grow crops in flower pots, build and decorate structures, befriend tiny humanoid residents, and glide around the world with special gliders. There's co-op, cross-platform multiplayer, and full character customization. The visuals are stunning. It looks like an animated cartoon brought to life in a real space. It's currently free to play with optional purchases, developed by Littlelandia Games under Tencent. The concept alone is enough to get excited about. It's Animal Crossing, but you're the size of a button. Moonlight Peaks is a gothic farming sim where you play as a young vampire who's done living in Count Dracula's shadow. Literally, your dad. So you pack your coffin, move to an abandoned family farm in a supernatural town, and start a new life. The town is full of werewolves, witches, mermaids, and other creatures of the night. The farming involves enchanted crops and magical livestock. You can shapeshift to get around town faster, study witchcraft to unlock spells that help on the farm, brew potions, do flower arranging, embroider, fish, forage, and collect cards for the town's game called Nocturna. There are over 24 romanceable characters. The gothic cozy aesthetic is immaculate spooky but never scary. Dark but totally warm. July 7th, Switch and Switch 2. And honestly, it can't come soon enough. Yoshi and the Mysterious Book. This is Nintendo's first-party cozy offering, and it's a Switch 2 exclusive. A talking encyclopedia named Mr. E crashes onto Yoshi's island and can't remember what's in his own pages, so Yoshi jumps in to help. Each chapter is a habitat full of creatures with unique behaviors and abilities. Your job is to interact with them, eat them, carry them, throw eggs at them, ground pound them, and discover their characteristics. Some creatures bloom flowers, some blow bubbles, some interact with each other in surprising ways. It's a 2D platformer, but discovery is the core loop, rather than combat. The art style uses a paper illustration aesthetic with painterly textures and pencil-esque outlines that make it look like an actual illustrated book. It's gentle and inventive, genuinely unlike any previous Yoshi game. Reviews from previews have been warm. This one is for all ages, out May 21st. My Time at Evershine is the third game in the beloved My Time series, and the most ambitious one yet. This time, you're not a builder. You're the governor of a brand new settlement on the frontier, tasked with growing it into a real city. You recruit settlers, delegate tasks to NPC followers, build infrastructure, explore dungeons, and manage the needs of your growing community. The story involves rising tension with the Duvos Empire. The game runs 40+ hours, supports 4-player co-op, features motion-captured animations in a more realistic visual style than previous entries, and has 8 to 10 romanceable characters woven into the main story. The jump from builder to governor gives the whole thing a different weight. You're not just farming, you're shaping a future for real people. For fans of the series, this is the big one. For newcomers, it's a great starting point. Outbound has over 1 million wish lists on Steam, and once you see it, you get why. You start with an empty camper van in a utopian near-future world and turn it into your home on wheels. No enemies, no combat, no fail states, just open-world exploration and creativity. You gather resources, craft tools, grow food, cook meals, and generate power through solar panels, wind turbines, and water wheels. There are 5 distinct biomes to explore: meadows, dense forests, arid deserts, coasts, and mountains. You also adopt a dog who helps fetch resources and alerts you to nearby points of interest. The whole thing can be played solo or with up to 4 friends online. The visual style is warm and lush, and the sustainable living theme gives it a genuinely optimistic vibe. It's slow and deliberate, and that's exactly the point. Village in the Shade looks like a peaceful Japanese countryside farming sim, and it kind of is. You're a young person who gets lost in the mountains, gets taken in by the village of Kagatsu, and starts building a new life.
You plant crops, raise livestock, fish, craft furniture, and attend seasonal festivals like cherry blossom viewings. The hand-painted art is absolutely stunning, warm, nostalgic, deeply Japanese in its aesthetic. But the village has rules. Don't talk to strangers. Don't leave the village. Don't go outside after dark. Break those rules and things get dark fast. There's a peaceful life mode if you want just the cozy layer, but if you want to dig into the truth of Kagatsu, the secrets are properly unsettling. From Nippon Ichi Software, the Disgaea studio, this is the most tonally daring cozy game on this list. Japan gets it, July 30th, and the West gets it in fall 2026.
Witchbrook has been in development since 2016, and it's finally, actually, almost here. From Chucklefish, the team that published Stardew Valley, you're a witch in training at Witchbrook College in the seaside city of Mossport. You attend classes, study magic, brew potions, fish at secluded spots, explore a massive open city, from the lively high street to hidden forest paths and beachside areas. There's a full social RPG layer with friendships, romance, and seasonal events. Up to 4 players can play together. The pixel art world of Mossport has been built to feel genuinely alive and full, and the team recently confirmed playtesting is done and they're polishing it now. For cozy game fans, this is the most anticipated release in years. When it drops in 2026, it is going to be a very big deal. And that's your top 20 upcoming cozy games for Nintendo Switch and Switch 2. Drop a comment with which game you're most excited about, and subscribe if you want to stay updated on all the cozy game news. See you in the next one!